The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. Covered.
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Off and running. What's up, boys and girls? Thursday for BvB. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel as always at Boston versus the book. Twitter at Sports Talk Matt, at Sports BK Conseg, at Boston versus the book. All three ways to follow us there. Sirius XM listeners, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys on the late night on 159 and Sports Grid Television as well. We have a lot to get to today, Dave. How are you on this Thursday? I just saw you an hour ago.
Busy. We're good. Well, listen, apologize to all of you who've been waiting in the room, in the chat. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You hit that bell. You can get in there and talk to each other until we get our stuff together. And we've been busy this morning. We had calls. I had a little pitch stop. Had to deliver a helmet that looked like this a little bit. But this is courtesy of Chef Benny. So, Chef, the package has been delivered.
Thank you.
And the boys and girls are all here. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. I was trying to get the hats organized, trying to get things ready. It's that time of year, Perrault. A lot of things going on prior to the football games on Sunday between hockey, NBA, college basketball, stories in the gambling world, media deals. It's
so look,
trying to keep up.
Today is going to be a different type of show because one of the fun things about doing this show is that we don't have to do just games. There's a lot in the gambling space going on right now that is off the field that is going to impact the future of the industry and the business. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. We do have games and picks and plays. Favorite thing about today is that is our winter over or are we done? Was that it?
No. It's coming.
Sure?
It's coming. Yeah. After wind's coming back over the weekend, rain all next week. Might be drop down and snow. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The 7-day forecast is for more crap. But right now, nice. Wind picking up.
Just so what's the weather for the Super Bowl week? That's what everybody wants to know. Have you seen it?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Okay.
3 weeks out.
We're not 3 weeks out.
It's 2 weeks from Sunday.
2 weeks from Sunday. We're not 3 weeks out. It's 2 weeks from Sunday. It's
2.5 weeks out.
Yeah, we got some time. You can look at it, but hopefully the weather's gonna be nice. Because I was driving to Madeline's skating class last night, and it was light outside at 5:15. I was like,
it is staying light longer.
Like,
that's kind of nice.
We're almost out of this. We're almost done. I see the light literally at the end of the tunnel for this horrific 5 o'clock dusk to dark nonsense, which I cannot stand this time of the year.
Brutal.
For how dark it gets, how early it gets. So we're starting to come alive. Okay. We missed a lot yesterday because we were off for a while. So there were a lot of things, a lot of big stories that I want to get into. The first of which, however, just broke literally 10 minutes ago. And this is just another one of these stories, but it involves an active NFL player. Patriots wideout Kayshon Boutte, while at LSU, has an arrest warrant for him now in the state of Louisiana, accusing him of underage gambling and betting on his own team while he was at LSU.
That's why I got those texts. I was driving, and I got people in places that might know about this, might not. Said, did you hear about this? And I'm like, no, I'm just leaving Perrault's house. No, this is out. This is
arrest warrant issued. He is facing pretty serious charges, felony charges in Louisiana for being an underage gambler, using falsified information to create accounts, but also making 8,900 bets. Some of the bets involving games involving LSU while he was an active wideout at LSU.
Over what period of time did he make 8,900 bets?
Over what period of time? Let me see. While he was in school. So whatever that, in school.
Okay.
Multiple years.
Is gambling legal in Louisiana?
It is, but he is being charged with a felony for computer fraud as well as a misdemeanor on count of gambling prohibited persons under 21. He will turn himself in today in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison today. His account was created fraudulently, listing the user's age as 21 years or older, involving several hundred thousands of dollars.
Whoa.
Yeah. According to reports, Boutte made close to 9,000 wagers. 17 of those bets were on NCAA football games, and at least 6 of them involving LSU football games that he played in. He was a standout wideout for the Tigers from 2000 to 2022. He recorded 131 catches for 1,782 yards, 6 touchdowns across 3 seasons. He was a 6th-round pick of the Patriots. Barely played for the Patriots this past year, only 2 catches for the Pats. But this is, an active NFL player who could be facing jail time if they really want to go after him and throw the book at him.
So April Leslie's in the chat. Hi, April. Great to have you here. Again, she just said he's already turned himself in and paid $6,000 in bond. If I read what I just read right. Sounds
right. It's they're 2 hours ahead of us here in Vegas, so it's already 11:45 here, Pacific time. So it's 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon over there. So turning himself in, saying I'm here. He is an attorney, but the NFL. I'll be very curious what the NFL does because most likely he gets suspended from the NFL, even though these things happened while he was in college. I don't think LSU's going to. Yeah, I think so. Probably conduct detrimental. He probably gets a 6-game suspension from the NFL. He wasn't doing it while he was with the Patriots, but he was doing it underage while he was at LSU. The question will be obviously is, was he making the wagers for himself or was he using, where'd the money come from? How'd he get the money?
Well, these are all the questions that now become it's just not a kid betting.
Yeah.
It's, where'd you get the money? What were you betting? Who told you to do this? What other people were putting your bets through? There's 100 questions that come behind this.
And before, are you betting on or after, or on or against LSU? Were you betting on your team or are you betting against your team? If you're betting against your team, did you know something? Did you know the quarterback was hurt? Did you know that the running back was hurt? Did you know that this was going to happen? All the questions start to surface because you made 6 bets on the team you play for.
Right.
It's Pete Rose type stuff.
Yeah. Again, careful what you ask for with all this. This is within the business. This is known, right? There's, a couple other stories coming up today. People bet. People that play sports bet. People that manage people that play sports bet. People that, gambling is a common thing. So is the issue that he was underage or
that's the felony? That's the felony is the computer fraud is the felony.
Okay.
The underage gambling is the misdemeanor, but we don't know about betting on your own team. What charges may spring from that? That's Rico.
LL just came in and said, if Deshaun Watson gets a second chance, then so should a kid who gambled.
True.
Legit point.
No, he'll get a chance. Patriots will cut him, but he'll get a chance. Somebody will pick him up. He can't catch. He's not an NFL wideout. He flashed a bit during the preseason. He was, people were talking about him because him and Bailey Zappi had a really nice rapport during the preseason. So everyone was like, oh, did the Patriots find a diamond in the rough, another 6th-round pick that could come in and be great? No. Kayshon Boutte did not do. He was okay. He was hurt, banged up a little bit, but he just never really flashed much for the Patriots. So they'll move off of him. They'll cut him. He'll pick up with somebody else, I'm sure. Somebody will grab him. Somebody will give him a shot. So I don't think his NFL career is over by any means. I do think the league will suspend him for some period of time for this. But what's wild to me about all of this, somebody sent me this, when I posted this on Twitter, they're like, if this keeps happening, sports betting is going to go away. I'm like, do you think that genie can get put back in the bottle? That's not going to happen.
Wait, go away how? Go back underground?
Just become illegal again. Become in an illegal act again. That sports betting won't be legal like it is right now.
Oh,
There's no way. That is not.
no, there's too much. There's too
No.
much. At
You're not
stake
rolling
now
back
and too much-
cannabis. You're not rolling back sports betting. Okay.
Right.
Those things are part of our lives. Casinos are going to become legal across multiple states in the next 5 years. We're not going backwards. We're going forwards. More stuff's going to be legalized, not less.
It just has to be managed better.
Mm.
That's the issue. Man, I don't know. And we'll get to the Iowa story again too. We touched on it briefly yesterday, but how did they get him?
Bonvie. What? No, Boutte is not a stud. But the Patriots are bad at wideout, so maybe it's the wrong team to be on if you're the Patriots. How do they get him? Let's see. According to the report, it says in July of 23, LSU was made aware of allegations regarding a former student athlete's improper conduct related to sports gambling while he was enrolled at the university.
So they didn't know until after the fact?
After he was gone, yeah. They've been fully cooperating with law enforcement as they go through this investigation. So it doesn't say how they caught him. They just said there was an investigation going on and the arrest warrant was issued for him.
Casinos,
How about
April is the letter I, not EYE like your eye. It's the letter I.
Like iPhone.
Casinos, like an
iPhone.
iPhone.
Yeah.
You get a casino on your phone. You can play
His efforts,
all of the games like you can betting apps on
so
your phone.
WAFB in Baton Rouge is reporting that his efforts led to more than $500,000 in winnings, with the vast majority of that money being used to place additional bets. So he won. He didn't lose. He won.
Well, of course. This is probably a big reason why it came about.
So according to the
warrant,
warrant,
it didn't matter.
Yeah, according to the warrant, during 2022 and 2023, Boutte deposited a total of $132,000 into the account.
Oh!
Boutte won a total of $556,000, but used most of that money to make additional bets. Boutte withdrew $50,000 from the account. Wow. So he won $50K.
So
is that why he got caught?
No, he deposited 132 and only took 50 out.
Oh, so he lost.
But he
100.
ran it up.
Okay.
He was betting, obviously. I mean, these are not normal numbers. This is not, he wasn't doing $20 parlays like the kids in Iowa. You know what I mean?
No.
He was probably making straight bets. He was probably,
large straight bets. And if you're betting like 10, 20, 50,000 on LSU games, okay. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I don't know. That's interesting. Could be the tax IRS coming in if it's a fake account. Maybe that led to the investigation.
They always get you with the taxes. All recreational. Yeah, all recreational. Look at that. You got a free face. Snap your fingers. That was good.
Yeah. So there you go on that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to open up a whole Pandora's box.
So that's how we start the show
down there.
We were going to start the show about the Iowa athlete betting scandal because this has turned into something. It feels like a movie. Like this doesn't feel.
Make this up. This is impossible.
This continues to be one of those stories that you're just like, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And where do we go next? Because the investigation now has uncovered that someone in Iowa allowed an investigator to geo-target the football building to be able to find out who was doing what on what applications in the Iowa football building. Who authorized it?
Without saying we're going to do this.
Right. Without giving a warrant. Without a warrant for it. He just decided to get authorization to put a geo-target around the Iowa football building to find out what Iowa football players were doing. And that's what started the investigation. And that's what led everyone down this massive rabbit hole. I mean, this is some crazy stuff.
Check or say you're going to do this geo-fencing thing before you do it?
That's the thought. the attorneys for one of the athletes is believing that the investigation was conducted unlawfully and that there's a lot of finger pointing going on right now in the state of Iowa about, wait a minute, what did you do? No, what did you do? Well, what did you know? What were you looking for? Were you motivated for something other than an investigation into illegal sports betting? Was there something else going on here?
So it was just Iowa and Iowa State.
It was in the entire state. It was just looking for underage betting on campuses, on college campuses. And they happened to do a geo-target around the football building, which everybody went, wait, there was no warrant issued that stated we're going to target this area. And so that's why the attorneys are saying that was everything gathered that started the investigation has to be thrown out. It was an unwarranted, Fourth Amendment type situation where you basically entrapped the Iowa football players to find out what they were doing. Once they caught the Iowa players, they had to go through the whole state, Iowa State and everything else. They had to keep going. They couldn't just stop with Iowa. Then it would look one-sided.
So our guy Whitrock, who has that hat, looked great, posted a picture, just came in and said, as an Iowan, this is such a bad look for our state that doesn't have a great look anymore anyways. Adam Pyatt said, UNI has no football building. They would have geofenced the entire university.
UNI is the University of Northern Iowa, the Panthers, 1AA powerhouse, FCS power.
So at some point, the Iowa gaming people knew about this because the investigation got to a point where they had to tell them, and they said to the guy, stop doing it, and he did stop doing it, or they okayed it?
Well, the investigation that's the whole thing. Like right now, people are starting to point fingers on this about how exactly the discovery request was made by the DCI, which is the Iowa version of the FBI. They were the ones doing the investigating. So that investigation, that geo-target, that geo-fence was approved by somebody with DCI. So they want to know the chain of command. Who said what? When? Who said yes? Who allowed this? It's all been done by a special agent named Brian Sanger. DCI agents began to identify irregular online mobile sports wagering activity originating from state universities with athletic teams that regularly participate in sanctioned sports wagering contests routinely listed on licensed online mobile sports wagering platforms in Iowa. So they want to know, how did this investigation begin? And then who authorized all of this? Because they believe it was an illegal search of the Iowa students for their online information to find out what they were doing. I mean, this is not going to be the more we learn about this, the more we're like, wait, what happened? Like, what did this guy do? And you can read the entire it's long about what they did and how they investigated and who they investigated and when they did it. Like, it's all, the whole affidavit is really a wild read, but like, they're believing that this was illegal search and seizure as to what happened here, and that all of these college kids should get put back. It really is a privacy law conversation about what are you allowed to find out? Like, how can you do this? And so that's the problem as it starts to waterfall. And you see in Keith Murphy, who's a friend of mine, who's a guy from Boston, who's worked in Iowa for 25 years at WHO, the #1 TV station in town. Like, he's been documenting this on Twitter, and like, all he's doing is just like putting up the information and he's very like straight arrow guy. He doesn't give an opinion. Right. The comments underneath when Keith puts it up are crazy. Like, it's just like,
I got caught reading them for like an hour yesterday. That's why I said we got to talk about this on the show.
Because both sides of the aisle are both pointing fingers at each other, right? Mm-hmm. Like, people are saying, well, it's the Republicans in Iowa who don't care about privacy laws and they're going in there. And then it's people who are on the left who are saying that to the right, and the right are saying, no, these are kids who are doing something wrong and we shouldn't be investigating them because they could be betting on games and we have to find out what they were doing. And like, it's a liberal university, so we have to find out what these kids are doing. It's like, guys, what are we doing? Like, this is not a political conversation. Like, this is like, did they do this legally to these kids? Because they ruined these kids' lives. Well, they lost all their eligibility.
Further down the line, it says like they told them to stop the whole thing. And they didn't stop. And then they went forward and they went to these kids and said, in person, give me your phone.
Yes, that's the biggest problem. And they handed it over because they told one of the kids who has, there's 2 lawsuits, but one of the lawsuits has one player saying he was told by the investigators, if you give me your phone, you're not going to be in trouble.
You're good.
You're good. He handed it over and then they threw the fucking book at him.
He called the one guy, I think it was an Iowa State wrestler. Maybe. I think it was either Iowa.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who got hit with it. Yep, the wrestler.
He called the coach and said, there's somebody here that says they got to look at my phone. What do I do? Well, I would think we would get a lawyer first. He said, no, we don't need a lawyer. He said, we don't need a lawyer. He's just going to look at my phone and make sure, that whatever I was doing is, he said, I'm going to be good. He wasn't good. He got kicked out.
Absolutely.
It just feels like there's a good one from D Stout right there.
There are bigger problems in Iowa than kids placing a $20 parlay, but this is what the state, look, I worked in the state. Okay. I worked in Omaha for 5, which is, Council Bluffs is in Iowa, which is a very large gambling area in the state and the suburb of Omaha. And then I worked in Des Moines for 2 years. Iowa State is what they have. Like, this is their professional sports teams. They live and breathe Iowa State. Okay. In the
LSU's kind of the same thing, right? Like, they got
the Saints in New Orleans, but yeah, it's a big deal.
LSU's
big deal. Yeah.
As big as any of them.
Correct. Yeah. You look, you have football season, you go into basketball season, you have wrestling season, you've got baseball kind of, but then it's really spring football to get back into it. That's kind of the routine. And everything about Iowa State matters, tremendously matters. And if you have an Iowa football scandal, it normally does turn into an Iowa State football scandal too, because if Iowa players get busted, they want to know if Iowa State players were doing it. That's how it went downhill. But Iowa lost like 7 starters. Iowa State, rather, lost like 7 starters off last year's team. They lost a quarterback, running back, starting tackle, defensive lineman, DB. They lost so many players off that Iowa State team. It caused me to bet they're under. Now, Matt Campbell did a hell of a job. They still went into a bowl game, amazingly enough. But I thought they were dead in the water. They started a true freshman at quarterback last year because of it.
What is the goal in all of this? Butchie's in the chat talking about it being a tax evasion thing. Like, they're going to get them on the tax evasion, right? Like, that's
a college kid betting a $20 parlay is tax evasion.
Well, the kid in LSU.
Oh, you're betting that, 6 figures,
those numbers. But are these two things equal, counselor? It's
no. I think Boutte is a different story
in Iowa.
Yeah, I think.
Kid betting big money in Louisiana. They're both underage.
Speeding is speeding, right? If I'm
going speeding,
but if I'm going 110 in a 45, and you're going 75 and a 65, we're both speeding, but we're speeding in different ways. It's different levels of speeding.
It's what are we getting them on? And what is the goal of all this? Are we trying to go is this on the books? As the book,
right?
Everyone wants to know why Nevada doesn't have online registration.
Right.
And you got to come in and it's such an inconvenience. You're so antiquated. Oh, the casinos control everything. You guys don't want business. No, you know what? They got it controlled. You can't open a fake account. You can't open an account if you're under 21. You can't do it unless you come in on camera, provide a fake ID, and fool everyone at the counter, and then it's on you. I still have to check it. I still have to do the KYC thing in the casino. There's a reason why it's done the way it is in Nevada. Maybe because, sorry, Will, they've fucking done it for 50 years like this here. And yes, it would be more convenient for everybody. And once you get the account signed up, once your license expires, guess what? You got to go back in and provide the new one. You can't just take a picture and have a bot or whatever send it in and do it.
The ease of the thing that I did not know, and I was naive too, which you pointed out, and I'll give you credit for this, back in the day when we both were having these conversations about online registration. And you and I fought for years, radio on, this show, other shows, where I said, Iowa, the states that came on board first. And when I went to New Jersey and I had 5 accounts loaded up in 30 minutes.
It's too easy.
I went, this is amazing. Like, this is so good. I came in, I put my license down on the desk inside of, I was out there for the DraftKings betting championship, the whole scandal that came out of that. There was a whole betting scandal. I was out there for that. And I remember going, this is so easy. It was like bang, 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 bang. I had 5 accounts on my phone. I had 5 open. I loaded them all and I was betting. It was unbelievable. It was so simple. And I came back to Nevada and I was like, this is boring as hell, man. I'd have so many more accounts. I don't want to drive across town and do this and do that. I never really thought, and you said, this is going to be a problem. I'm like, no, it's not. You have to have a real ID to have somebody really look at it. And you got to be able, I didn't put in my brain how lackadaisical the companies would be when it came to actually checking people's identifications. I thought they would be more worried about the law coming down and cracking on them. And all they cared about, they were the bar owner letting the 20-year-old girl in to drink. Like they just come on in. I'll worry about it later. Come on in. You want a drink? How many do you want? 5, 6,
They
7?
almost let them in with their parent.
Right.
And the parent said, I'm buying the drinks. They're drinking them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them home. Don't worry about it. We're good. Like, that's essentially what the parent does. That opens the account for the kid to bet. Now,
it's exactly what happens.
That's exactly what it is. And again, they make their personal decision, but the book has to have a check. They can't be completely like, whoa, we didn't know. Oh, this kid's betting 10 times a game. He ran an account from 132,000 to $500,000. And nobody anywhere went, this kid might know something. I wonder what this is doing. I mean, there's reports you can run in the book and go, what are we doing here? Who's this? This guy's pretty good. I'm going to try to get on his side. Blah, 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 blah. All losing bets are equal in the book size. They don't care about the losing bets nearly as much.
There's something to that, right?
They don't care about the losing bets as much.
That's a problem.
Of course.
We never hear about the illegal gambler who lost. We only hear about the illegal gambler who won.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's a problem. That's an issue. Like, all these betting scandals, it's only a scandal when they win.
Or a guy sets up a geofencing and makes it really easy.
And then he can get popped for it. So
was he betting? Was Sanger betting?
That's a great question, right? Well, I mean, that's everyone gets investigated now, right? Once you do this, once you're perceived to have gone rogue and done this and maybe violated the constitutional rights.
Is he still working?
Yeah, part of the DCI. Oh yeah. He's still involved in the investigation. Yeah, he has to be. You let him go, he might tell the truth. You know what I mean? This thing may have been put together in a very nefarious way for all we know. We don't know what happened here. We just know that the lawyers have taken a look at the investigation and said, wait a minute, what were you looking for? Because what you're supposed to have been looking for, you were doing something very targeted. You were supposed to be looking at the state. All of a sudden you had a geofence around one building. Like, why? What caused you to do that?
Somebody on the inside.
Right? If that's true, okay, you must have
somebody had to tell him.
You must have probable cause, or he might have been fishing, Dave, on his own, and you can't do that. That's the point. He may have just been like, let's see, let's just draw a little circle around this area and see what happens. Let's let it run for a couple of weeks and let's come back to the data. And he may have come back and gone, holy crap, look at this, and everything came through, and that started the whole investigation and the whole thing. But how he got permission to geofence that area is what everyone's wondering. And also, when someone says you're not going to be in trouble, give me your phone, and you hand your phone over without a lawyer being present, and it's an underage kid, you better be careful because you could very well run yourself into a big Miranda problem. So, kid's going to know his rights.
Brady took his phone and smashed it
because he was smart. He was smart.
Smash the phone.
Yeah, I'm not showing you shit.
Hey,
bang, get lost. You want my phone? Oh, what, this phone? Out the window. Oh, I don't
Pick it
have a
up.
phone. What phone? Phone's gone. Light the thing on fire.
Oh man, that's a bad look. It's scary because we've talked about this off the air. We've talked about it on the air. You guys all have phones, and if you're watching us on a phone, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. But these phones, you can find out so much so quickly, and it's taken over our lives and what you can find out. This is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this is what they found out on sports betting. What do they find out about the rest? Like, if somebody could have these investigations, that's when I started reading that from your guy, Kevin. And I started going, oh, hold on. Like, it's hard enough to keep track of my 3 kids, myself as a dad, like keep track of what they're watching, what they're looking at, what they're doing. And you have those, things in place, but somebody can just create a geofence around a building and see when you log on, when you log off, what you played, when you played it, who you played it, how much you played it for, like that.
Simple.
It's a little too much.
Oh, it's amazing. And I think also, if you look at the way that our lives are so attached to the phone, someone when I was tweeting about this, somebody in law enforcement reached out to me and said, this is going to be a really interesting debate for a judge, because technically there are investigations that go on around geofencing that are not warranted, and you're allowed to do it. If you get a warrant to search improper illegal activity through a mobile device, well, the word mobile comes into play here. The device is mobile. So you can't have a stationary geo-target when the device moves. So you're investigating an individual who has a mobile device. So whenever that individual stops, you then geofence around their house to know what they're doing. Or if they have a safe house, a flop house in their own house, if they're going between those 3 different properties, you're able to geo-target and geofence around where that person actually is to find out what they're doing on their mobile device. These are all things I didn't know about. And I was like, holy crap.
We got a lot of guys in law enforcement in the chat that have helped us with different things. I'll never forget the day of that shooting at UNLV, and those guys they were telling us stuff before we even were getting it, and you were getting it direct. It's always interesting to learn these things, and it's always, to reiterate to our own kids, like, somebody's always watching. So just do the right thing in the dark, in the light.
Oh, amen to that.
Us, when you're without us, like, just do the right thing. And that way you can at least say, you were doing this. You don't have to lie. I mean, this is now we got to find out who was lying, who wasn't. And the whole thing is it's getting messier. There's no clarity in this, Perrault.
Oh, no, it's opening up way. I mean, because look at when we wrote our Constitution, these guys had no clue what was going to happen. Like, how the hell would they have known? Hey, by the way, George Washington, we're going to have a computer that is more powerful than the thing that put us on the moon here on our hands. What are you talking about? Like, I got to ride across town just to go ahead and deliver a letter. Like, no, I can alert 10 million people with a keystroke. Like, we're in a very weird time. It's funny because I'm reading this book. I talked about it a bit yesterday, but the advancements we have made as human beings, if you look at the whole course that Homo sapiens has been on the earth, like, we have changed in the last 100 years faster than we have in the previous million.
Right.
Like, we have added things into our lives for convenience. We have no idea what this is going to do to us as an entire species. Like, we have no clue how this impacts the human brain, our development, what this does for our health, what this does for our, evolutionary process as we become smarter and what we look to do. Like, we think all of these conveniences are great, but human beings are not supposed to live in 72 condition perfect weather all the time. Like, we're supposed to be outside, hunters and gatherers, supposed to be moving around all the time,
right?
Trying to, basically be hungry all the time. And we're never hungry. What do we want? I mean, I couldn't believe this blew my mind.
After the show, you're not hungry after the show? Sometimes?
I'm always hungry. Yeah. Do you know that there's 500,000 kids under the age of 25 in Japan who have voluntarily not left their house or their bedroom for some of them for 7 years. 7 years.
It's one of the most ridiculous yet disturbing statistics, numbers, things you've ever said to me on this show. They haven't left the room in 7 years. I'm concerned when they don't come out for like 6 hours.
They
What
don't.
Are they doing up there? What are they doing?
They deliver everything. All their food is delivered. All their medicine is telemedicine. All they need is all online. Everything gets delivered. They never leave their houses. Human contact is a thing of the past. They have an actual word for it. The name's escaping me, but there's an actual word in Japan, in Japanese, for these people that are voluntarily keeping themselves away from anyone else. They're living in a room like this size for 7 years. They don't see anybody. They don't talk to anybody. It's all online. Everything is through the computer. Everything's through their phone. So like this is the developments as we look at Iowa and we look at betting and look at all these things. We're giving all these kids, they're juggling knives and we're like, hey, cut yourself. It's on you, man. But we're giving them more and more knives. It's why it really,
this is now I'm going to have to, I got things I got to do after the show, but you got me down this rabbit hole. I don't even want to go down.
Yeah.
I don't want, thought I was just in Philadelphia and Kylie was upstairs and we were all downstairs and she didn't come down. I turned to Jessica after a couple hours. I'm like, can I go up and check on her? She's like, no, leave her alone.
It's called Hikikomori.
Hikikomori?
Yeah, a Japanese culture-bound system of social isolation. Young adults become recluses in their parents' homes, unable to go to work or school for months and years. A form of severe social withdrawal. Hikikomori. Yeah, it's called Hikikomori.
Koromori.
Yeah. I just learned about this morning. I mean, 7 years. They don't come out of their house, their bedroom for 7 years.
What in the world could you be doing in there?
Don't know.
Like, don't you want to get out and see the sunlight? Like, don't you want to go out and see your friends? Don't you want to, like, what are you
Do you have
doing?
needs? You want to go see somebody? 7 years, man. That's a long time, man.
Oh, man. Haven't we seen the Matrix? This is just the beginning. Come on, Covey.
Red pill, blue pill. What do you want?
Man, oh, man. That sounds like that's crazy. Get the hell out of your room and do something. Go walk, touch some grass. I love that new expression. People are saying, just go touch some grass.
Yeah, put feet. That's actually a mental thing where putting your feet in the dirt and the grass actually triggers things in your brain. Helps
the best.
Helps your brain.
Oh, I used to tell the girls that at practice. We get there. I'm like, you guys have no idea how nice it is just to put your cleats on and go touch the dirt or the grass. Like, Coach Dave, what are you talking about? Like, you'll understand it when you get older and you got to go to work every day.
Yep.
What it's like to come out here and be with you guys for 2.5 hours. My favorite part of the day, every day.
So this is a gambling story that happened while we were off, but it's really pretty interesting. So ESPN Bet created a market over the weekend that was kind of unbelievable. It was where's the headline? Hold on, let me find the headline. I'll find it.
ESPN Bet promo created a massive opportunity for no risk wagering.
So it was it was basically an ARB is what they created.
Yes,
an opportunity to bet on both sides.
Yes,
for the Ravens and the Texans game. So ESPN Bet had a line of -9.5. For the Ravens game.
Well, they opened at 7.
It was bet up. Yeah, 9.5 at +110.
Well, this was when the line was 7, -110.
And it was
at 9 or 9.5 at +110.
Yeah. So, and ESPN won't confirm this, but they essentially boosted the Ravens to +140. And then they opened their limits up to be as high as $50,000 or more.
Yes.
Others were reporting that the limit was as high as $2.5 million on +140. Now, you're the math guy. Explain to me why is it an incredible opportunity if I'm getting +140 with a $2.5 million limit on the Ravens against the Texans?
You said it yesterday. That's one of your favorite expressions from a guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head that said 11-10 built this all.
Oh, it's from Chris. Well, Chris Andrews is the one that told that, but Chris got it from somebody else.
That was that book. That was that book guy that opened up one of the individual places here and then ended up going to the castaways. Sonny Reisner. Sonny Reisner, because I know his son Adam.
Okay.
Said 11-10 built this all, meaning every bet the book takes, they're getting plus 110. The customer is laying 11-10. What this promo bet did was it created a massive arbitrage opportunity for Ravens Texans bettors. Now, instead of laying 110, you were able to take plus 140 on a number. You were able to take plus 110 on another number. I saw it. I was getting text. I was back east. And I was like, somebody, one of two things. Somebody hit the panic button and said, we are so loaded. And I immediately thought they took the Mattress Mac bet. He came in, he bet $1 million on Houston on the money line. He bet $1 million on them on plus the points. And now their whole risk exposure has got to be completely flipped. Oh my God, what do we do? Give them plus money and open the limits. Let's get off the game. That's option number one. 2, the marketing person said, listen, let's open up the limits. It's only plus 110 or even plus 140. It's no big deal because they're not a numbers person. We'll get all these accounts to come in. We'll sign them all up. And we'll see who bets this for what. And anyone that bets it for real money at this price, got to be a sharp account. And we'll mark them all and they'll never be able to bet again. But we'll have all their information. Those are the 2 options that I immediately thought of.
They did not advertise, by the way, just so you know, they did not advertise that the limits had been raised. They did not. They talked about the promo and about here is what we're going to give. We're boosting the Ravens. When you go on the app, you can see like we're boosting the Ravens game. So you can see the promotional boost. Right. But they didn't say that you could get down what you could have gotten down.
Right.
That's what makes me go, wait a minute. Who knew if they weren't going to advertise that? Who knew that I could bet $100,000 there at plus 140 and $100,000 there at minus 110 or whatever else I want to do for the math problem and basically walk away with a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 profit?
So we used the term, I've used this term for a long, long time, brought it to the show. You use it every once in a while now. My kids use it all the time and they're not sure exactly why, but inside job.
Yeah.
Was mentioned when I heard it because I was like, wait a second.
Good movie, by the way.
How in the world Discord groups knew? Some professional groups knew that the limits were up and open for business.
This never happens, right? Just how unusual this is to give a promo boost of a number to then
on a straight bet. On
a straight bet involving a playoff game. In the NFL. Like, wait, what do you do? Like, what? This doesn't happen.
Sure that ever happened before. Now, listen, we did stuff at CG, but I mean, we would have a guy walk in with a suitcase of $500,000.
Okay.
And bet us a game. And I'm not saying it was, I mean, I used to sit when I was in a room, I fought against it all the time. When I was out at a location or at a counter, I would call into the risk room and say, what are you guys doing? Like, why are we giving away -9 plus 110? Because we'd have never done this offshore. Never, ever. And I now like to joke that a lot of these models, Euro guys, some people they're reinventing the wheel. Oh, we'll balance the action. You're not balancing anything. You're giving it away. Basically, it's like robbery in plain view. If you okayed this, if the marketing department okayed this and no one in the risk room stood up and said, hold on, we got to grade this after. We're not doing ourselves any favors, okay? And my bonus or reputation or job review is going to come down to the fact that we lost on this game or didn't win as much, and you're going to go get another marketing deal. I used to fight with the marketing people when I was in the book and when I was in the risk room, in meetings. I would say, like, hold on. You come and do it. Make sure your name's on it when you flip it to the plus 110 or the 120. So when the shareholders or the boss or whomever comes in and says, who made that line like that? Because the Ravens ended up winning and
Covering easily.
And you gave away all that money. Now, results notwithstanding, I would never do it. But look at the result now and go, did we do the right thing? Do you think anybody in there inside that place is questioning that move, Perrault?
I mean, they have to be because of the number of stories that got written about it and the reaction from the betting community. And this might be a little inside school, but it's just one of those situations where if a book is allowed to operate like this, I don't know. Is there an investigation coming? Do you think a gaming control board is going to go like, wait a minute, what did you guys do? Because this feels to me like, to make it like a football term, that like somebody inside a football team knows when the quarterback's not going to play. Feels like somebody inside of ESPN Bet knew these limits had been raised and the public didn't know. So I'd want to know like whose name is on that authorization to up the limit, because the promo boost isn't the problem. The promo boost combined with it being an NFL game combined with the limits is the problem. Because that's what everyone always says. Well, oh, great. Here is your no risk wager. Here is your ARB opportunity, but it's $50. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to, it's not going to make a problem for the sports book. $2.5 million. I can get $2.5 million down on a promo, on a boost. Who knew that? I'd want to know, because you don't just go testing the waters like that. You don't get on your phone and be like, let's see if I can bet $2.5 million on a promo boost.
Well, no, listen, there's guys that do that.
Randomly just fire on it.
I've seen guys. Now, these are guys with 6 figures in their account.
Okay. That
normally can only bet a dime or 5 dimes. They'll put in 100,000 to see if it could go through. Because if they could get that bet at that number, they'll do it. There's people that will put in numbers to test the limits and go, oh, that doesn't say it's over the limit. Like, because now a lot of the software, you don't even have to hit submit.
It says,
you type in the number.
Does
Or if the books are doing it right, it puts the limit on there so you know. But a lot of times, listen, we used to do this at the book all the time. We would tell them, listen, ask for, if we're taking 100,000 on NFL side, you want to ask, because if we could take it, we will. And they're like, oh, we don't believe you. You're full of shit, Dave. No, I'm really not. Like, if we could take your bet, we will. Now, if you're going to, try to pull moves and get beards and all that other stuff, we're not going to take the bet. But if you come in and you say, look, I want to get this down, and you're an established player, we're going to try to accommodate you.
How much money?
Business every day. Like, I got guys texting me now saying they do boosts at their book every day.
Right. But do they take $1 million? The boost isn't the question. The boost on the game, that's the promotional, we've talked about this all the time. The refunds on prop bets when guys get hurt. The, take a -110 bet, we're making +110. The only version in Vegas we kind of have is that Chris takes -105. He'll drop juice down and have a 105 line versus -110. That's like the Vegas version of doing this. Books can play with their prices all they want. That's up to them.
Correct.
It's the boost limit that always comes into play.
Correct. A lot of times you'll see the boost limits now with the legal books are $50.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. Right. It's $50. Hey, I can ARB. That's great. I'll make $6.
Correct.
Is that worth my time? It's not worth my time. Oh, wait, I can ARB $1 million and make 10,000. Oh, maybe it might be worth my time.
Now we're in business, Perrault.
That might be worth my time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boss, it's the book I was talking about earlier. It's called The Comfort Crisis. You can look into it. It's written by a guy who's here in Vegas.
Here's the book I'm reading. I just wanted to hold it
up.
Oh,
nice.
4 Square Miles. This is book number 2, The Circumstance. Keith Michael Preston. Go follow him on Twitter.
Okay.
Tell him Consig sent you to go buy the. I'm in volume 2. I'm carrying it around with me. I'm trying to read it every chance I get to finish this to get to volume 3 and 4. You want to talk about a movie? There's The Comfort Crisis right there.
Michael Easter. Based in Vegas.
Like the holiday?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
It's his first
2 book recommendations from the Bostonian versus the book. We should do a book club. The BvB book
Let's
club.
Go. I mean, I've read every Malcolm. I got to find new books. I read every Malcolm Gladwell book. I read his entire catalog during the Hard 75 and phase 1. So I did all that. And now I've read every David Goggins only has 2 books. So now I'm on Michael Easter. So both based in Vegas, which is so wild.
That's crazy.
both guys live here. Yeah. So, okay, Roger Long, here we go. Dave, answer this. Why are beards a bad thing if you're getting more money?
Oh, well, I mean, listen, this is part of the business. The book has to know that some guys are beards or some girls are beards or whatever. A beard is someone who's betting with someone else or for someone else that you don't know that they're doing it. So I'm putting in bets for Perrault at this book to try to get this number to move or do this or get more down. His limit's only 5,000, but my limit might be the same. So now when we're working together, we could get 10 down. The problem for the books with the beers is you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So you can't profile the customer. You don't know if you're getting the right side, the wrong side, the head fakes, the fake bets. You don't know anything. It's on the book to know the customer. And if you're fair with the customer and the customer's fair with you, there used to be a relationship. I'm going to take your money or you're going to take my money. And the book used to say, same. I'm going to take your money or you're going to take my money. And then the battle began. And it was like, you beat me to a number, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you got me this time. Boy, you're hot this year. I got to keep paying you every Tuesday or, you keep withdrawing money out of the account. Okay. It works both ways, but now it doesn't exist. It's an absolute shit show. There's no relationship, and everybody's just a number.
A runner is a beard. They're the same thing.
Yeah. Same thing. Yes, similar.
Runners.
A runner has no real stake in it.
A beard does.
A lot of times, yeah.
Okay.
A runner is almost like a hired employee.
Yeah.
By the group or whatever. They basically punch in and punch out or are always available. And then, they get a free roll or a percentage of the win. There's all kind of deals made.
Yeah,
it's all over the place. But it's a lot of these things that either aren't said or are left unsaid. And then all of a sudden it comes up with, promo bets or kids betting on college games or a kid putting in 132,000 and nobody's checking.
Underage
stories today are unbelievable. I mean, this is a good show. We haven't talked about one specific game. I love it.
But it's just, I think for a lot of people who ask that question, what's wrong with it? It's the same principle, when it came to organized crime, organized crime, the act of taking cigarettes and selling them, stealing them. Okay. It's a big deal. It's bad, but they'd resell them that wouldn't get, the problem is it would lead to violence. It would lead to nefarious things. More and more bad things happened because if you let the brush fire grow, it turns into a forest fire. And that's kind of what, from a gambling perspective, is if you let someone bet that way, well, what happens when that person takes the money and runs? What happened when you give a guy a runner to go, hey, I gave him $100,000 and this guy disappeared. Okay.
Seen it.
Well,
I've seen it.
Then that guy disappears in the desert. They were finding the guy. They're going for a ride in the desert and there's a hole out there. And that's where the guy's going to show up. And that's what you're going to find him. When Lake Mead came, when Lake Mead receded, they kept on finding bodies. That's where the guy wound up, in Lake Mead.
Yeah. I've seen guys disappear. Guys you would never think would disappeared. I saw a fake robbery. I mean, it was 100% it was a fake robbery.
It's amazing.
This guy said, one of my favorite days of work of all time, I'm working at the counter, and a guy comes running in and says, I got robbed. Now, he just withdrew the money out of his betting account, and he went outside. Then he came running in and said he got robbed. You got robbed. And then a guy came in a costume world cup uniform saying he got robbed. I'm like, who are you? He had a Yosemite Sam badge on. His hat was sideways like this. This fake, he didn't have no gun. He had this he looked worse than a mall
security guard. Yeah.
I'm like, who are you? I'm like, Zeke. Zeke was the guys. That's how I called him. I'm like, right. Zeke, You got robbed? Yeah, call the cops, call security. Where's the money? We just gave him 85 dimes.
Wow.
Oh, poof, bye-bye.
He thought he was brilliant. Hey,
I knew who he was working for.
Oh, no.
Zeke, you better go get that guy that robbed you. Tell him bring that money back or you ain't going to make it. What do you mean? I got robbed. Zeke, get the money. I don't know who this cop is. Tell him to call, put out an APB. The whole thing ended up being completely staged. They ended up getting the money, and the guy ended up going to jail. The kid went to jail, disappeared.
Wow. Sometimes
he had
jail
to go away because the guy pressed
they want to go to jail, right? They want to go to jail.
Money. Yeah. Stole money.
So that's why. So you wonder why, the CY, know your customer thing, the KYC stuff that Dave's talking about. It's like that's the legality from the sports book. A legalized sports book has to know where their money's coming from because it's anti-money laundering. Like, and anti-money laundering is a topic that we can get into because there's a large thing going on here in Las Vegas with anti-money laundering about what happened here in town. And, this is how a bookie brought down a Las Vegas executive. MGM Grand and the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas has agreed to pay a $7.5 million fine related to anti-money laundering failures here in town, where a guy who was heavily involved, an executive that had access to the ability to basically write off people's losses and bringing in Wayne Nix is the guy in California. We talked about Wayne Nix a while about the ring, the sports betting ring he was using, former athletes. Now
the whole thing started with the Yasiel Puig.
Nix was taking Puig's, right? Thank you. Yeah, Nix was taking Puig's bets,
that's how
right?
It started.
Yeah, and now it's turned into this, massive issue where a guy has pled guilty to anti-money laundering, and he's going away. We don't know how long, but it's a 5 years.
Is he going away? Do you think he'll go away?
I think there's got to be something. I think they're going to look to throw the book at him, or at least make him an example of in some form or fashion. Don't you think? Nix is going away. We know that.
Is he?
Yeah, Nix will go away. But the question will be, will the Las Vegas executive go away as what was going on here? But you have two properties. How much did CG pay in fines again? Because
$15 million.
Because life after that happened, life for me was hell. Because working with CG was terrible after that. Because every little thing, every single document that you did with Cantor Gaming was looked over by 5 people and approved by 3 different levels and this and that. And I was always like, what the hell happened? And they were like, we paid a $15 million fine. Don't you know this? I was like, no, what happened? And I was told the story.
Yeah, I was there today, everything when they came, and the FBI was there. I think I told this story so many times before. When we make the movie, it's going to be interesting. But I walked in and there was FBI agents and gaming agents and people with guns on both sides of the book. And there was a little buzzer door. We would go in, and I walked in. One of the runners at the time, again, he was in his 60s and he hadn't ran in 30 years minimum. He limped very slow when he walked. He was running out of the casino. And I said, what are you doing? He's like, the feds are here. The feds are here. I got to go. And he was running. And I'm like, literally had that moment in life. Do I walk in this store?
Oh, wow.
Or do I go home? I could call in sick. And I didn't do anything wrong. I got to go in and see what's going on. So I went in, and that guy was like, who are you? I said, I'm Dave. He goes, and you're here for work? I'm the opener. Okay. Showed him my ID. He let me in. He said, walk me over to the supervisor. And then he walked me back. He walked away, and it was junkyard. I said, what's going on? He said, they got Colbert at his house. I said, well, what do we do? He said, they said open as normal. I said, open as normal. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I went to get the bag. I took my jacket off. I had a jacket on just like this. I hung it up and went in the back, and they followed me. I grabbed a casino issued bag that I would go pick up $300,000 Sometimes 500,000 on a weekend as the opener to set up all the banks. He's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "To go get the opening deposit." "Okay, we're escorting you." "Okay."
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So everything we did, we went over, went to the cage, and the person at the cage was either this really nice guy who worked the overnights, and he was a little strange sometimes, a little too cheery for somebody who sat in a cage all night, or it was a really nice woman who just got there at 6, and I think I got there at 6:30 or 7 sometimes, and it was her, and she's like, "Oh," she's like, "You brought people with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just today." Okay.
A couple of friends of mine.
Slapped the bag up on the thing, and they watched me run it. I had to run the money, confirm the amount, sign it, and take it back. And they slapped this list down and said, "If any of these people come in here, you have to tell us."
Oh.
And I was like, "Okay." I'm going to guess that if that guy that was running out in the morning knew, ain't none of these people coming in.
Right.
So I saw the whole thing. And after that, life changed. Literally, I called Jess on my break. I said, "You're not going to believe this." Because I used to come home with stories all the time.
Right.
I said, the FBI's here. I think the CIA's here. I think the IRS is here. The gaming agents, Nevada Gaming's here.
Definitely
I think the New York District Attorney's office is here because that's who brought the case.
Wow.
I said, "They're all here." And she's like, "For what?" I said, "I don't know yet, but it ain't going to be good." And she goes, "Are they going to knock on our door?" I said, "Hell no."
Right.
I got nothing. She's like, "Because I ain't coming to get you." I said, "Just not now, please. Not the time right now." And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to finish my shift." And I stayed there, and we took bets and all this stuff and put 2 and 2 together who was watching who that whole time. Because we had guys that would come in that weren't betting, but they would ask for racing forms.
Oh.
They were watching other people. And there's so many things that went on. So this came up.
Well, yeah, Wayne Nix, in case you're curious, Wayne Nix, he started a sports betting business more than 20 years ago using a Costa Rican-based website to track customers' bets starting in 2014. Connections in the sports world to cultivate a customer base of athletes. According to court documents, he recruited some customers to become his agents to expand his network, aka beards and runners. Prosecutors have said that Wayne Nix received payments for gambling losses from professional football players, Major League Baseball players, a baseball analyst. So essentially he got kickbacks from players. And so he had this big group. He would bring these people to Las Vegas, and he essentially told them where to bet. He would get kickbacks from players. And in this one executive, he got kickbacks from it. He got trips. He got special treatment. He got special events. He got special things happened.
Yep.
And they all did this where you're supposed to not know your customer. Where's the money coming from? They looked the other way as to where the money was coming from.
It was never a requirement until around that year, 2014 or 2015, to ask where the money came from. Because what happened with us when we opened up at the M and CG opened with one location, people were just coming with bags of cash.
Wow.
And the job was count the money, make sure it's right, print a ticket, go. Then when we started the accounts, because there was never betting accounts, ever. We were the first ones to do it.
Oh, wow.
And reluctantly, other books and places in Nevada did it. And I swear, everybody was watching from afar going, how is this going to work when we legalize it everywhere else? Because we used to have people coming through looking at the book, maybe to buy it, maybe not, maybe to invest, maybe to not. I used to call it the dog and pony show all the time. Like, who are these guys?
Right.
And we were coming and watching, learning. And then they went and passed it in New Jersey. And all of a sudden, I swear some of the people that were in the book asking me these questions, as well as a lot of other guys, were opening up business. And I'm like, huh.
Interesting.
They learned all this watching us. Okay. They learned what not to do, what to do. They didn't listen to everything because they could have avoided a lot of things. But you couldn't do this now. Because
but this is like I say this all the time, like Frankie Palomero, any other organized guy. If my grandfather was around to see all this, my grandfather would have fallen down laughing. He would have been like, you assholes tried to close my bar. You guys I was doing like, I would love to have found out what the handle my grandfather's book was doing. Couldn't have been more than a couple thousand a month. Like it could, but they arrested him and they tried to take his livelihood from him for what he was doing.
This book, this 4 Square Miles, is your grandpa. He's
That's
one
phenomenal.
of the people.
Nice.
He has a bar.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I know exactly what he would say. He would say, these Moronis, he would MF everyone right now for what is going on and what has happened, because now we're all good with this. Now we're totally fine. Now we're advertising on billboards. Like there's a billboard, the irony of irony. There's a billboard a half a mile from my grandfather's bar it's for DraftKings. It's just like, are you kidding me? Like my poor grandfather would be just like, he's somewhere going, I told everybody, man. I told everybody, these people, we don't do anything wrong. We aren't doing anything wrong. We're just having some fun. Just walking in, taking some fun, helping guys get down, fine. He didn't believe in banks. He didn't really file tax returns. He didn't do a lot. Like he wasn't actually, my grandfather wasn't.
Guys like that are distrustful of a lot of things.
Yeah, banks included.
Things taken away from them without,
he didn't want any part of it
for actual truth. I mean, like our grandparents, same way. I mean, the money in the mattress and all that other stuff. Like, there's a reason for all that. That was life. That's what people did. But like life in the book, you took bets, you counted the money, you put it in a drawer, and then you turned it into the cage. When they won, sometimes you took them to the cage because it was too much money, and only money that had was in the cage. You took them to the cage, ran the money there, gave it to them, and they left. Like now, you got to do a blood test. You might have to do a colonoscopy. You might have to provide Ancestry.com of where you came from and where you're at, who you're related to, and all this other stuff. Forget about W-2s and all that other crap. You got to provide all of this stuff.
Documentation.
It's very hard to get the money down now, which is one of the other aspects of, places in faraway places that take bets. They don't have all that.
Right. And it goes to the closing scene in Casino, right? Because, go watch Casino. You haven't seen it. Go watch it again and watch the end scene when you're hearing De Niro's voice. And he's talking about how the corporations came in with junk bonds and changed everything. And no one will ever allow 2 guys from the street to run a casino again. But like, that's because for a long time, that's how this town was run. This town was not look the other way. You come here, wash your money clean. You come in as a leper and you come out clean. Like that's what he was always talking about. Like that's what Vegas was for a lot of people for a long period of time. And now it's not. Now it's F1 races and Super Bowls and things that are no longer what Vegas used to be. One more story, and then we'll get to NFL stories and actual games.
Yep.
So this is our friend Adam Leviton, who had this tweet today that I think is so good. He said, so I think I have this right. Barstool Sports sells Penn for $551 million.
Yeah.
Less than 4 years later, Penn recognizes that there's a failure going on, and they sell Barstool Sports back to David Portnoy for $1. And then just 6 months after that, Barstool Sports announces doing an 8-figure deal to promote one of Penn's, aka ESPN Bet, biggest competitors. How did this happen?
We're still trying to get to the bottom of this.
Like, how did Penn not see this coming? Like, what? Everyone's phone, if you downloaded the Penn app, which was Barstool Sportsbook, it was the Penn app. So when they flipped to ESPN Bet, they flipped it and went from the Barstool Sports app to the Penn to the ESPN Bet.
ESPN Bet.
Without anyone, saying yes or no. It just updated the phone and updated everything, and then bam, the app now is ESPN Bet.
Well, you had to then open the account with ESPN Bet. You had to switch it over.
But Stoolies want to be involved with Barstool.
Correct.
But that's who they are. And you're going to allow them, Barstool Sports, to market a different sports book to everyone who you paid $500 million for.
Correct.
The non-compete was 6 months.
I'll forget about the non-compete. Like, what are you trying to do now? Like, you're bringing them back? Like, are they going to leave that and come back?
They'll do what Dave says. They'll do what Barstool Sports says to do. Like, they want to support Barstool. They don't want to support Penn? They never cared about Penn. Penn was never part of the equation. That's why they white labeled it Barstool, because if Penn was a great brand, they would have used Penn. They'd use a different brand. So now they're using ESPN Bet to the same thing. It's Penn's book, but it's branded something else. It's not, no one in Bristol's taking a bet. It's all in Penn. But now you're going to allow Barstool to push a different sports book that's competing against the billion-dollar deal you just did with ESPN.
Yeah. Want to shout out my guy, Joey Sass. I call him. He's a Detroit guy. I know he's beyond excited about the Lions. He's currently stationed at the Fontainebleau. I worked with him. He's a good guy, and he's a dear friend who is doing everything he can to get us at the Fontainebleau. He said, Dave, you and Matt got to come down here and do the show. We got to talk about stuff.
I'm having dinner tonight. I'm going tonight.
Well, Joey Sass will be there.
Okay.
Go to the counter.
Okay.
Say hello to Joey Sass. And he's a good dude. He wants people talking about the Fontainebleau for the book, not the nachos, because the nacho thing has been out of control.
The nacho thing is the most interesting thing on Vegas Twitter at the moment.
It's unbelievable.
They changed it. They're paying influencers to go ahead and tweet out their pictures of the new nachos at Fontainebleau because there was 6 chips with burnt cheese on it for $25.
It didn't look good. Just being perfectly honest. And I like nachos. Do you like nachos?
I love nachos. Make them all the time.
Big fan of the nachos. I mean, every time we go out, we got certain places we get the nachos with the queso, this, that, whatever. Like the kids are professional nachos,
Look, everyone knows.
He had the nachos. Whitrock, don't get the nachos, Matt. LOL at the nachos.
Everybody knows.
It's big fan of the nachos. You like the jalapenos on the nachos?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Sure. I like spice.
I really like the jalapenos.
I'm good with that. I just think it's real. I mean, it just goes to show you how you have to be so careful with your stuff and your brand. Because yes, it has turned into Nacho Gate. That's what it's a great name for it.
Do you like meat on your nachos?
I don't like ground beef on my nachos.
No?
I like chicken on my nachos. Yes.
Chicken on your nachos?
I don't like ground beef on my nachos. No, I'm good with
that. Just came in and said barbecue pork nachos is the only choice.
It's one of, he's a Southerner, clearly. I mean, that's, okay. I've had it. Yeah, it's good. I mean, pulled pork. It's like a pulled pork sandwich put on top of nachos. Yeah. I mean, you can do all sorts of different things.
Influx of people just now. Ratings are going up as we're talking about the nachos. Everybody in the chat watching the show live, put your favorite meat choice topping of nachos. It's beef brisket from JC from KC. Of course.
He's a Missouri guy. No, it's brisket's fun. Yeah, brisket nachos are great.
Pardon me.
You get them right. Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. But we got, Butchie likes to eat. I know Butchie's, he's a nacho connoisseur, I'm sure. He's probably got something that he likes to put on nachos. Chicken.
Pulled pork nachos are fire. Yeah. Can be.
Chicken. People are going to answer chicken mostly, right? I would think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Vinicon Lewinsky. What is this? Half chorizo and half barbacoa, which is basically pulled pork. All right.
Okay.
We're not doing the meat curtain nachos, Ryan. That's not something we're interested in doing. No.
Not today. Not today. No. But that reminded me of what my favorite thing about today will be in when we get to bonus time. I've been saving. I forgot to do it the day before I left for the trip. And I just was going through my phone. I said, I forgot to talk about this. We'll talk about it today. We're talking about everything else. This has been an unbelievable. We're an hour and 10 minutes into this show already.
Yeah,
how did this happen?
And now we're getting into just what happened. You're wearing the Chargers jacket. Jim Harbaugh has been named the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.
I'm glad I got all the Chargers stuff now. I can keep wearing it.
How do you feel?
This means they're going right to the playoffs now, right? Finally, we got a coach. We got a quarterback. We're good to go. I mean, just advance the ball right in. They're going to win the AFC West. Dethrone the Chiefs. Got a it's done, right? Forget it. It's over, right? No. Why you look so skeptical? Hold on. What?
I really want to believe you're right. I want to believe everything you just said to be accurate.
You don't?
I mean, I don't know. I need to see. He was in college for 9 years. He won a national championship finally at Michigan and bounced.
Did you know anybody that was in college that long?
9 years? No.
I had one guy. They called him Zab. Wow. Rich Zaborowski was his name. Is his name. He's still alive.
It's like
he was in a fraternity. He's 7 years.
Wow.
7 years of college at Penn State. I mean, we used to joke. I think he just got an undergraduate degree.
Jeez.
7 years is a long
like
time for college, but
Tom
Harbaugh,
Green's
9.
character
Go
in
ahead,
Road Trip.
continue, sir.
Yeah. So I think in terms of like, he's entering a very difficult division, but he has the quarterback. So
A difficult division with the Raiders and the Broncos.
yeah, I think it's difficult. It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs, you have the defending champs are in the division. The Raiders and the Raiders are on their way up. The Broncos are, they're not just step overs. This is not like, 2000 Dolphins, Jets, and the Bills. So it's a difficult, it's hard. I'll be curious to see what type of coaching staff he assembles, who his DC is going to be, and then who's calling plays. My gut tells me Harbaugh is going to be more of a CEO type, and he'll kind of he'll factor that all out.
You think so?
Yeah, that's how he was at Michigan.
Oh, I think he'll be hands-on.
Maybe, but at Michigan he wasn't. At Michigan he was, he had
Got
guys
to that point. I mean, it didn't start out like that.
No, but he had it rolling, and so I'm excited for him to be back. I don't want to get too excited because I really want the Chargers to be good. I think the Chargers they have so much talent. It's just they can't get out of their own way. So less egghead, less math, less analytics, more football. Hopefully it's good.
We talked about this yesterday on Sports Grid, and they brought up that picture of Harbaugh with the crazy eyes and that green under thing. You remember that one we always use?
Always. Yeah, the crazy one. Mm-hmm.
I said to Jack, can you make sure that changes from that M on the hat that he's wearing to the Chargers so we can keep using that? That's such a funny picture. Listen, it's going to work. It's going to work. They're going to get better. They can't get worse. They're playing a 4th place schedule.
Yeah.
He finished last in the division.
He does come into a good spot. True.
The turnaround's probably going to be quick. But, we got a lot of Michigan guys that were very happy that Michigan won the national championship. I mean, and where does that leave them?
Michigan? Ryan.
Hold on. You're frozen. Hold on. Snap your fingers. Come back, Jack. No, you're back.
Yeah.
All right.
Ryan Day is the happiest guy on the planet. He is. Happiest guy in America right now. Guy he couldn't beat, and the guy that was causing him literally daily problems in his life is gone. It's truth. Have you seen how much money Ohio State is spending in NIL this year?
Yeah, they can't have it. They can't have this losing anymore. Now they got no excuse. The guy's gone from Michigan.
They have 4 quarterbacks. They have 4 quarterbacks. What is going on in Ohio State? Buckeye fans, what are you doing? You only can play 1. Why do you have 4?
What did they tell them all? You're going to come here to play?
And we're going to pay them all. Yeah, we're going to pay them all NIL. I mean,
they
I was
can
watching.
Pay them, but they're not going to play.
They're bringing back the best team in college football, and Nick Saban just retired. If Ohio State doesn't win the national championship next year, Ryan Day is gone. Gone.
Would have to win it all? Can't they just get to the Final
win it all
Four?
now? Look, I picked Michigan to win it all last year. I was right. I'm telling you right now, I think Ohio State wins it all next year.
It's January 25th.
Yep. Their team is ridiculous. They have paid everyone to stay. There are so many kids that could have left. And they're not because they're making so much money. Ohio State boosters are like dun 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 dun. Like they're paying everyone in Columbus right now.
Okay. We'll see.
Look. Alabama has had a massive drain of talent.
A couple of them went to Ohio State.
Okay. Including the top-ranked quarterback prospect at Alabama. Okay. The 5-star. He went to play quarterback, left Alabama to go to Ohio State. Okay.
Damn.
One of the 4 quarterbacks. You can have Georgia. You can have Georgia. Okay. I'll give it to you. Having Saban being gone makes it much easier for Georgia to get in the playoffs. But I'm telling you right now, Ohio State's as an angry program. They have one goal. I like Texas. You're absolutely right about that. It's completely true. Texas is going to be a problem as well. They're going to go in.
Crop _Duster 07, 007. First of all, he went 7 years to college. So Crop Duster knows college. in college football. He put it in there. He's working on year number 7 right now.
Wow.
Congratulations to you for keeping that dream alive.
But he's
and
right.
2, don't forget Texas and the Lambos to the transfers.
Yeah, Lamborghinis. Give them the transfers. But it's going to be
Lambo? You get a Lambo?
Some of these guys. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. You look at the landscape of college football next year has changed so dramatically with Nick Saban's retirement. It's the SEC. Texas can win the SEC.
Rexy put out a great tweet that said, here's the coaches with national championships in college football right now. Mac Brown, who won it back with Texas.
Right.
Kirby Smart.
Georgia.
And one other guy. There's 3 guys.
Yeah. Clemson.
Active.
Dabo Swinney. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
He goes, that's it. That's the list. And I was like,
wide open.
Whoa. Wow.
And then, did you know the national championship game is being played on January 20th next year?
Yeah. Yeah, it's late.
January 20th.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have into the playoffs, like, not just like kind of close to the NFL playoffs are going up against the college football playoffs.
Yeah, but don't play those games during the week or on Saturday, right?
Yeah, but it's still the same. I mean, we're going to have, from a betting perspective, that's going to be amazing for the books. Their handles are going to be
2 more weeks of great handle on a few games. The first round, when there's 12 teams and 4 have a bye, so there's 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
That first Saturday will be ridiculous, and then the second Saturday will be also 4 games. Because there'll be 4 winners of those that play the 4 teams.
And those it'll be a divisional round, be huge.
Will be just like the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. Pretty much all good teams, maybe one Cinderella.
Right.
Great numbers, great. Hopefully, no home fields.
Nope.
So all neutral sites. Oh, it's going to be tremendous as far as handle and interest. Give us a lot to talk about. We'll still be doing the show. Let's
hope. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we should be going to that. Eagles are keeping Nick Sirianni. You good?
Not surprised.
They're firing all the coordinators, though.
So this is the problem, right? This is, again, you keep the top guy and you let everyone else go. You got to start over.
Again. For a second straight year.
Right. Is this good?
No. This is just because it's harder to fire the coach a year after he had a run to the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's fine. It's just it's so hard to keep the staff together.
They didn't like his hire last time around. We like it this time around. I mean, you blew out the guys he hired.
You get one pass, right? Like that's it. Like that's you. We got rid of the
next step is
okay. You went to the Super Bowl. We lost in the last play of the game, and at the end, okay. This year, you replaced those guys who left.
I thought Vic Fangio was going to be the new DC in Philly. Got fired for the Dolphins. I thought Philly was going to hire Vic Fangio. No.
Oh, I don't know.
God, you meant Staley getting that? Oh my gosh. Egghead analytical guy goes and runs to Philadelphia, him and Sirianni. Yikes. Oh my. Brandon Staley and Nick Sirianni together is going to be a work.
That's not going to happen.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm with Tony here. I think they're going to have a rough year next year. That team's a mess.
Not ready to make that.
That team's a mess.
They do have the talent. If you get the right guys in there who sell the players and the players get on board, who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I just know, like, I've seen this now. This has been a big complaint in Pittsburgh with Tomlin. They just keep getting offensive coordinators and it's not working. And then they fired the guy midseason. It had to be terrible in there. So they're looking. This Cliff Kingsbury's flying around the country, talking to everybody about, working with their quarterback, calling all the plays, and everybody forgets the times when they were down at Texas Tech and he didn't play Mahomes or whatever, all that went on. And you got to keep it together. Think about it like this. I thought about this. Principal of a school, like where Maddie's at or where Kendall's at.
Yeah.
They keep the principal but fire all the teachers.
Right.
And then they bring in new teachers.
And the principal
it's going to work now.
Yeah, the principal gets to hire those same teachers you just blew out.
Right. So like third grade was terrible. Like just saying, this is, for example, this is not the case with at least where Kendall's at, but this happened before when the older kids were in grade school. Principal kept the job. A bunch of the staff left. They weren't happy with him. They weren't happy with the way the direction of the school, so they all left for other opportunities. And they brought in a lot of young, inexperienced people. And that school year was a disaster. What do you do as the owner, or the superintendent who is in charge of that school? You keep the head guy and say, just hire new staff. Don't worry about it. Like the hell with the results. Pro sports we measure it in W's and L's. The pressure's all on him to win right now, right?
Oh, there's no debate. There's absolutely no debate. I mean, they have to figure out a lot very quickly, offensively and defensively.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. I mean, Philly there's no more rope at all here. I mean, he's at the end of the road. Like Sirianni, if they start slowly next year, he's out by week 6. Like he's not guaranteed he's not guaranteed to end next year, in my opinion. Yeah, Sirianni's on the hot seat in a big way. They got to make marked improvement, or
they all are, right? Like even McCarthy got to be.
Oh, that's true, 100%. Yeah, Mike McCarthy
without a doubt is on watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, not the Commanders coach, but we'll see.
Dabble's got another pass.
No, I would agree with that. You're right. Yeah. I would agree. Brian Dabble's got to figure some stuff out too. Absolutely. College basketball, number 8, Auburn goes down. Number 10, Illinois goes down. 2 more top 10 teams on the road go bye-bye. Outright losses. Forget covering. It is hard to win on the road in college basketball.
Still, this just in.
Yeah.
Still hard to win on the road. Absolutely.
Did you see the end of the Bama game?
I did.
My God, my heart dropped. I thought I was dead. I was so mad.
Got away with one, right?
I got away with one. There's no debate on that. I got,
but
then I got
good
screwed.
win. I mean, they talk.
I got away with one, but then the gods decided to get me back with the Iowa State game, so I got back. That was
so. It
evened out.
Washes the other.
And then the hockey game was. I mean, I was on the under 6.5. It was 2-0 going to the third period, and it ended 4-3. So yeah. Thank you, St. Louis. I appreciate you falling
hell of
apart.
A hockey game.
Falling apart on me because I was good. I was like, okay, I'm good. 6.5, we're all good. And then 5 goals. Huh.
I bet in game over 5.5. When they scored 3-1, it was still 5.5, and I was like, I'm betting
fast.
Over. Yeah, because I thought Vancouver scores the next goal, we get an empty netter. I figured it falls 6.
Right. That's what I handicapped 4-2.
And they
right.
scored, and they scored, and I was like, oh
3-3.
my God, this was great.
Bang. Yeah. So, and then, I mean, the Iowa State game, look, again, nothing is fixed. Nothing is, crooked. But I get when you watch games like that, I get why people say that stuff because I could not believe the referees in that game. It was they were down 2 with 2 minutes to go. And they lost by 11. Like, are you serious?
It's tough.
Awful foul call. Technical foul call. Tee up the coach. 3 points gifted. One of the worst. I mean, a guy tripped over a leg in that he traveled, and they called a foul on the other kid. And the coach the coach for Texas for Kansas State lost his mind. Yeah. Like I lost my mind. I was like, what are we doing? Yeah. Teed him up. 3 points handed to Iowa State. They won the game by 11. 8-point spread. Thank you. Making sure that cover happens. Bad. I was big mad.
Oh, I know.
Northwestern
was good.
They're fun, man. They're a fun team, in particular
at home.
And they're building at home. Tough. They've beaten Purdue and Illinois now at home. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Two best teams in the Big Ten. You've gone down taken down there for Northwestern. So that's not horrible.
Tough place to play. I don't know how many more times they're going to be dogs at home against. I mean, those were the 2 best teams. You're right, but you're going to catch them getting points. I think you'll get them again.
Right? Yeah. Watch Northwestern. To the NBA, Utah's laying 7.5 against Washington. Would you be comfortable with an over bet in this game, given what we have seen with Washington's inability to play defense this year?
Yes.
I'm so scared of the Utah Jazz. They are such a crazy Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yes.
I mean, it's what night are we talking about for what do they look like? And laying 7.5 on the road, they're 10-13-1 ATS on the road.
Right.
I can't lay 7.5.
No, you can't lay 7.5.
No way.
Rather talk about the total in that one. I don't want to lay
13-11 on the over for Utah at home. Washington 11-8-1. They've turned into an under team. They're much like Indiana. They were a solid over, and now they're an under team.
Right.
It's just like, wait, what are you again? You're an under team. How's this possible?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
No. Not a lot of the NBA makes sense. I mean, the Pistons won and covered as a favorite yesterday.
Yep.
The Pistons were favored yesterday against Charlotte. As bad as they are, this is only the fourth time all season that the Pistons were favored, and they ended up covering.
Yep.
I mean, anything can happen in the NBA.
Philadelphia won a dead cat bounce game. They won and covered in Doc's debut.
The Bucks.
I was like, come on, there's no way. Oh, sorry, if you Bucks win. Sorry, excuse me.
Bucks,
sorry. Yeah,
that's right.
But I was really confused by that. We'll get to that game in a second. But Sixers are at Indiana tonight.
Yes.
Indiana's an under team. They're an under team. How? I have no idea, but they're an under team. Makes no sense to me. 239.5
points on the road.
I can't now. I mean, on the Sixers are an over team. Indiana's an over team, both on the road and at home. But Indiana is 1-4 over their last 5 and 2-8 to the over their last 10. Like this is not like a recent. This is not like a recent or like a quick splash here. 10 games.
By the way, I don't know if Doc coached. I didn't see 1 second.
Yeah, he coached against the Bucks. Yeah, he coached.
Was he there?
Yeah, he coached last night.
Okay.
In the debut for the Bucks. Bucks won and covered against a team that was the Cavs, who had won 8 games in a row.
Right.
I was like, wait, what? Dead cat bounce work for them? It made no sense. Game of the night is this one, though. Celtics, Scary Terry's making his debut for the Heat tonight. I want to see if Miami wins this game outright. I mean, I'm stunned at the line move. It's 5.5 last night. It's 8 now.
Yeah, because Bam played 40-something minutes and Jimmy played almost 40 minutes. Are they one or both out?
Probably so, with giving the line move.
Right.
Miami's a team to watch. I'm serious. I think Miami's going to be. I want to watch and see what ends up happening here with the Heat. I wouldn't lay 8 with the Celtics though. I don't care who's not playing. It's Boston. They're such, roller coaster ride. What they are. And no, season B's parlay tonight. I would not recommend that. We were talking to Chef Benny about that today. I would not recommend it. No, I would not. We
checked in with Chef Benny. Chef Benny helped us get these helmets.
He's saying he played last night. Terry played last night? Thank you. I thought he debuted tonight. So
okay. Yeah, we talked to Chef B this morning, and he was like, "I'm done with the season B's parlay. They're pissing me off."
He's right.
Lost again.
He should be. I mean, he should be looking. I know. I mean, it's
cheap tonight. Boston's the Bruins are short favorite tonight.
-140 on the road.
Why are the Nuggets only 2 at the Knicks?
That was my question to you. Explain that to me.
What the hell is that?
That number seems
that's a danger zone right there. I don't know. We did record a cash considerations last night. Yanitsi said the Knicks are winning this game, no question.
No question.
Big Nick. Oh, he said the Knicks. Brunson talking about him MVP.
Well, look,
Knicks
they played
get a little too excited. Like
the Nuggets played down to their competition, so I guess that could be possible. I mean, so I mean, I've seen the Nuggets this year blow games like this, so they should win on the road, but I don't know. They're not getting up for the Knicks. They get up for the Celtics, not getting up for the Knicks. So maybe.
Wait, pause. What? They're not getting up
for the Knicks.
For the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
The Knicks would disagree. Madison Square Garden, you don't get excited to play in a garden. It doesn't have the same thing.
They don't. No.
No?
No. I don't care. They're fortunate.
Thursday in January?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Thursday, knowing you're never going to see them in the playoffs. Yeah, no. You're not worrying about the Knicks. The Nuggets aren't running into the Knicks this year in the postseason.
Put this in the chat. We need a first poll. An hour 30 in. Nuggets -2, Knicks +2. Who you got? Put it in there and vote. This has been one of the benefits of watching the show live here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching it live on the Twitter, that's great. Are we still on Instagram or no? We're not doing the Instagram.
Select shows.
Very good. Okay.
It's more problematic because it only goes for an hour.
Correct. That's fine.
And then it shuts off, and I feel bad if someone's watching the show and then it's like clip goodbye. So once they fix that and we can go for a full show on Instagram.
I love this new bright white poll that pops up in the chat.
Okay.
Nuggets -2, Knicks +2. Who you got? That's pretty easy. I voted. You guys are watching the show. Vote. Even if you don't like the game, like just vote in there so we get these numbers built up.
Yeah, they have.
That's good.
They've been good in January. I'll give you that.
Jimmy Jack said
only
the Nuggets -2.
Only one team going on right now, one game involving a top 10 team on the road.
Rough night for college basketball.
Bad. Arizona's not losing this game, right?
I don't think so.
As 18-point favorites?
I don't think they're losing. They may not cover.
More on that and better to book
Marquette
it.
was 18-point favorites yesterday at the Paul, did not cover.
Stay for better to book it. You may hear more about this game coming up here. You mentioned the Bruins. I can't bet this. They lost at home last night to the Hurricanes.
Can't. I mean, do you want Ottawa though? Like
I don't, but the Bruins right now are such a they're hurt.
Who's playing goal tonight? Is it Swayman?
He played last night.
I know, so he's probably not playing tonight, right?
Yeah, so most likely it's. But I mean, Allmark's not bad. It's like you're taking a gigantic drop down with Allmark, but the Bruins are playing. It is expected to be Allmark.
Okay.
Corpusalo expected for Ottawa.
Over to?
Maybe. Yeah, the way the Bruins are playing offensively. Yeah, it's possible. I could see
the way
it over.
Ottawa gives up goals.
Yeah, I could see that. 14 straight wins. 650, Dave. You were light. It's -650 on Chicago.
Some books have moved it to 650. There's still a couple left at -600, but
okay.
Like that had to open that. Like, I don't know. Where does it end? I mean, we talked about this the day before. This is the highest money line I've seen all season. I remember one last year, Colorado was -650 at home against Arizona, and they won by 1. Like, it's not that easy where you just lay the puck line. Like, what's the puck line price? -1.5 right now. -300? You got to lay a goal and a half.
Got to be
and
more
lay
than that.
300?
It's got to be more than that. It's got to hold on. It has to be. No, it's got to be like -400 on the puck line. Tonight's puck line price for it's low. It's -235 at FanDuel.
Right. That's -280 is what I thought in my head.
-630 on the money line, -235 on the puck line.
-1.5.
Yep.
Want to lay 2.5?
You could take +2.5 at +8 at +188. You want to take to lose by 1 for Chicago?
Take 1.5.
Alternative puck lines you can do. You can lay 2.5 at -130. 3.5.
You're still laying juice. You're laying 2.5 goals, and you're still laying juice.
Plus
this is
200.
incredible.
You can lay 3.5 goals. It's only 2-1. You can lay 4.5 goals, and it's +420.
Don't lay 4.5 goals.
No, don't lay 4.5 goals.
Don't do it. You got to win. What?
5? I don't know. Is this your GPP play? A general principle play on this?
On the dog?
Yeah.
Ay, Maron. I mean,
I'd take the +188 on the puck line, though. Take them +1.5 goals. What is the Oilers team total? The Oilers team total tonight
gotta be right.
is
got to be 4.5. 4 over juice.
The total is 6.5. So how many goals are they don't even have team totals up right now at FanDuel. There's no team total. Oh, there it is. Edmonton total goals is 4.5.
Right.
Under juiced.
Right. It's 4 with the over juiced or 4.5 with under slightly juiced.
So before we go and in a bonus time and do better to book it, the A's have issued a new picture, new renderings of what their ballpark is going to look like here on the Las Vegas Strip. Let me get the banner out of the way. Guys, if you know Las Vegas, this is the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo. This is where the Tropicana currently sits. This is the fucking moon.
Will!
This is not Las Vegas, okay?
Stay ready, Will. We're not even on the screen and he's swearing.
What world do the A's live on that this is a ballpark that actually would exist in Las Vegas? Because across the street is MGM Grand, across the other street is the Excalibur, and diagonal is New York, New York, none of which are in the picture.
None of which.
They're not in the picture. How do you issue a rendering of what a ballpark's going to look like and you just put it on the moon? That's the moon. That's not Vegas.
The moon?
What are we doing?
That's the moon, he said.
That's not in Las Vegas. You can't put up a rendering of a property and say, hey, guys, get excited. This is what the ballpark's going to look like, without actually using the city and put the ballpark into any relation of what the ballpark will look like in that said city.
It's amazing how they made all that stuff around there disappear.
Voila! It's gone. Ding. I mean, like Chris Angel's impressed. God, what are we doing with that?
We got to get out of here, but
Yes.
stay tuned for bonus time. And I got another Urban Dictionary definition.
Okay.
That I have to do only in bonus time.
I don't want to stay around
make
for that.
Will's life hard. But
no, we're done because you're off the clock, my friend. We appreciate it. Sports Grid and SiriusXM. Thank you for listening and watching. If you are with us live on YouTube and Twitter, if you haven't done this before, you should come over and do it one day live, because live you guys are getting bonus time. Hit the wrong stinger. Sorry.
What was that stinger that you hit?
Better to book it. We'll get to that in a second. What is your Urban Dictionary?
Oh, we'll wait.
For what?
Right now.
Wait for what?
I won't do it right now.
Do it right now.
We got stuff we got to finish.
No, we don't. We're good. We're done. Better to book it. That's it. We're done.
Hit the last story.
Yeah, we rolled through.
The A's is the last story.
Yeah. Better to book
We
us
can
next.
talk about it like for real now, right?
Talking about what? The A's?
Like, what the fuck are they doing?
They're trying to get everyone to laugh at them while they're moving here, because they're taking pictures with their mascot with F1. Like somehow that's going to, people here in Vegas are so in love with F1. Let's go ahead and put the mascot in with an F1 car,
right?
And put that out there like, hey, Vegas, we're like you. And everyone's like, yeah, we don't want you.
But like, I heard that they weren't going to build an open air stadium. Then I heard that they were going to build an open air stadium. You cannot play baseball here.
No.
Day games for sure. No. All summer. Nobody's going to go. It's too damn hot unless you shade all the people around them. And like, no, build a dome, a retractable roof. So it's open in the nice times, closed in the hot times. That's a number one. Number two, are they really going to put this on the Strip?
Yep.
I heard the Rio area is getting a lot of love.
Well, that's because
they got the open area.
Yeah, no, it's going to be at Tropicana. They've already started. They've already given people their walking papers and stuff. It's going in Tropicana. It's going. They're demoing. They're destroying Tropicana, and they're building it there. Look, Vegas is about to go through we've already had a massive transformation, but we are really going to see a big difference when this fast rail from Rancho Cucamonga to Vegas is going to be open in time for the Olympics in Los Angeles. 2-hour fast train. Wow. I mean, this is going to be unbelievable, because in the same time, we're building an NBA arena down by the South outlets or North outlets. South outlets. We're building that. We are going to have, at some point, a ballpark being built for baseball. We don't really know where. But those are three major economic changing property builds coming to Vegas in the next 6 years.
I'll believe it when they get them shovels in the ground.
Well, the high rail already started. They've already done that.
They've been talking about that since I moved.
No,
here.
But that's done.
That's
done,
actually happened.
Done.
Right.
That is the federal dollars.
We'll see how many people want to drive from LA to Rancho Cucamonga and leave their car and get here.
Oh,
and the problem with going to stop at Rancho Cucamonga is that I can't go to a Laker game.
True.
From Rancho Cucamonga, I can't go downtown in LA. I could get there and then I got to rent a car.
But that's fine. But we're not going there. They're coming here. It's not about us going there. We can do that, but it's not about us going there. That's not the driver is
we could
LA
take the
to
train
Vegas.
and go to the beach for the day.
You could, but that's not the driver. That's not that's not why they're building this. They're building it to bring Southern California to Las Vegas and to stop the traffic jam that happens every weekend trying to go through Prim and going over the mountain.
It's absolute. You can't leave here and go west on Sunday.
No, it's horrific.
unless you get up before sunrise and beat it,
Yeah.
or wait until Sunday night.
And they're going
way
to
after
widen.
dark.
They're going to widen that pass, but you
Right.
really can't do very much with that because you're going up in elevation, and so like you can't do a lot.
No,
There's
it's a
no
little
room.
bit of a part of that drive where it's not even comfortable.
Right. So, and then when it
It's
snows
narrow and it's
or
up
it's
and
foggy
down
or it's raining, it's
winding.
like, forget it. It's like, white knuckle driving, trying to get there. So they're trying to eliminate that, which
Right.
I think a ton of people will drive to Rancho Cucamonga to get on a train to go get drunk the entire way. It's going to be a party train. It's going to be ridiculous, that train ride here.
It's so funny because, and you saw it just when you went home for Christmas and New Year's. I saw it just this week. We flew to St. Louis from Philly, seats all over the plane. It was wide open. We got to St. Louis and they announced, if you're in a B and a C boarding groups on Southwest, we're checking your bags because every seat is full and we don't want to have any fights loading up the
Wow.
overhead compartment. So check your bags. Like they were, and people just had a different attitude because we were getting on a flight to Vegas.
100%.
I was like, it's a Tuesday
Don't matter.
and it's St. Louis, and these people are coming with the party hats and they're ready to go and let it loose. There were very few business travelers on there. They were coming to either come home like us, and we're all like looking around like, oh, this is just another day for us. But most of the people were coming ready to go. So we'll have that with the train.
Yep.
Johnny Parlay's in there. A couple things today, Johnny Parlay. One, tip the writers when you win. Just tip them a couple bucks. It goes a long way. Leave the change, if nothing else. The rat is right. Kenny, our friend Kenny Israel. I love Kenny. He's I call him the rat. Kenny and I work together. Kenny's got great stories too. Someday we're going to let the cat out of the bag and hear his stories. My favorite is when he was kind of working as a runner and he met somebody at Marie Callender's and exchanged $500,000 in tickets and chips and cash. And then he got a cherry pie, I believe. It was unbelievable. The story is amazing. But number two, he said the Rio's back in play because they're fucking something up with the Trop site. So there's a story today out in the RJ or in the someone else saying that it's maybe not going to be there because of the acreage. Something
It's too small. That's true. If you want to build a retractable roof, you can't build it at the Trop site.
You can't do it there, which is crazy. How can they not know this? It's fucking
well, I mean, look, iconic plan. A's owner explains rendering delay in ballpark funding, saying, he didn't reveal the specifics about what the planned ballpark would include. I don't know. I mean, he made that picture was not of the Rio. That's the intersection.
Did you see though the Rio upgrade, like the lights and all the stuff? It actually looks great on the outside.
Supposedly the food court has all been redone, and really it's good. People are saying that like it's a great place to go for lunch now because the food court's got great options and it's cheap.
Take a ride over there. Okay.
Yeah. So the food court at Rio is supposed to be a good step up here. So here we go.
The train, the party train, the Gap Band. That was a classic. Yeah.
It's true.
Absolute classic.
Go Google it, kids. Time for better to book. All right. Arizona and Oregon are at war tonight, and I got bets on both their games in college basketball. Oregon's at home against Arizona State. Ducks laying 8.5, open at 7.5, bet to 8.5. Not sure what the number is now, but Arizona State is not very good. The Ducks have been playing better of late. Is that too many points for you? Too late.
First blush, yes. I think it is. I think it's dog. You're laying the points?
It's 10 now, by the way.
Yeah, I prefer dog. Arizona
State is 3-6 ATS on the road this year. Oregon is 6-3 at home. The offense for Arizona State is unbelievably bad. Like really, really bad. They can't score. So I think you're going to see Oregon with a chance to get out and run. A little double-digit win for Oregon here. I'm laying the 8.5 points with Oregon.
Just got a text from a dear friend of ours.
Oh,
his name's Austin.
Okay.
And he said, would you guys still be interested in doing your show on the road? We're going to talk about bringing you in for a grand opening.
In what state?
We'll wait to announce that.
Okay.
But I just sent him back a text and said, yes, and we're doing the show live right now.
Yes.
So you could, have a
Sneak peek.
call,
Oh.
set it up. But Austin, shout you out. Congratulations on the new gig.
Yes.
And
Wait, we're not forgetting.
hell yeah.
Don't worry. Yes, we do know the AVN convention is at Resorts World. Yes, we do. We do know that. If you don't know what the AVN convention is, look up what the AVN. Look up AVN is. By the way, Arizona State, their numbers: 3-point percentage, 269th; 2-point percentage, 234th; free throw percentage, 345th. They are 269th in effective field goal percentage, and they are 195th in adjusted efficiency for offense. They suck offensively. We're laying the 10. Next play is going to be Oregon State plus 19 against. Oh, sorry. I mean, kind of hard to put themselves. Sorry.
Against
their,
who's where's the game at?
It's at Arizona State.
We just did that.
No, it's Oregon.
This is Oregon State plus 19.
Oregon against Arizona State. Oregon State against Arizona.
At Arizona?
No, at Oregon State. Road game for number 9.
So Arizona State's on the road up in Oregon.
No. Yes. Correct. Yes. Oregon's home.
Arizona schools go together.
Correct. They're both up there. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
It's 18 now or 17 and a half. 19 was the ceiling. I took it at 19. Arizona has had 2 games, both at home, 17 and 21 point spreads. Didn't cover either one.
Right. Yeah, it's too many points.
It's college basketball.
Yes,
in Oregon State is 305th. 305th in tempo.
Oregon State plus the points. Yes. I think I went to dog again here.
Okay. And then Green Bay, Oakland, baby. Horizon League.
What are you talking about?
Horizon League. This is my trend that I have been playing. Road team loses, comes home, is a dog. KenPom has this as
we got the home dog here with Green Bay?
Correct. For Green Bay.
I'll say bet this one.
I'm looking for. I really hope that I can watch this on ESPN Plus.
Pretty much making it a point that unless the favorite's very short, like less than 2 buckets,
you can't do it, right?
Just take the dog. For
number's 3 now, by the way. The number's gone up on Oakland, so if you want to jump in on that, you can do so. But I would be careful with it. 10-3 Oakland on the road, but 9-1 in conference. Green Bay against the number. 9-1. And the only game they didn't cover was the last game on the road. They lost by 22 points. They're pissed off. Green Bay's coming home in the Horizon to get a W. Win the game outright tonight.
Can't wait to see how many shows have this game on their list of things to talk about today.
Yeah.
Horizon League basketball.
Hey, it's 10-3 versus 9-1. It's 10-3 on the road. ATS for
it's a
Oakland.
Good game.
9-1 ATS at home for Green Bay. It's a good game in the Horizon League.
It's a good game.
You want to watch it?
PFW Mastodons getting 4.5 going to win tonight. What the hell is that?
Mastodons? The Mastodons are who are the Mastodons? Time for our super chat questions. You guys can always post these in there. Joseph Morgan with his 3rd ever super chat. Here's the question, Dave.
Yes.
I've got a 4.75 units coming back Ravens AFC Championship ticket.
Okay.
How can I hedge maybe pregame or in-game with Kansas City, or should I hedge at all? Thanks, guys. Glad you guys are back. I missed the shows on air.
Well, thank you for leaving us the super chat. That's a great question. Couple options. You can take the points. Kansas City plus the points pregame. Grab the 4. Get the best number you can. If Baltimore wins by 1, 2, 3, you win both. If they win by 4, you win the Baltimore bet and push the Kansas City bet. Or take a shot on Kansas City on the money line with a plus price and guarantee yourself something for your time. You can't win both of those. So you could go for the middle with the points. You could go and take an alternate spread. Take Kansas City and try to get 7.5. Now you're going to lay juice for that. But sometimes it's worth it to get that middle pregame. Or your other option is to wait for in-game. Hope Baltimore scores, gets a lead, and goes up to 10.5 or something like that. You shoot for that middle. or you do what LL says, don't hedge because Baltimore's going to win. You got nothing to worry about.
Stevie Madglass, KC to win. I will hedge. It's just a matter of how much I'm going to hedge. I'm not really sure how much I'm going to hedge, but I'll take Kansas City. I've got 11-1 on the Ravens. It's plus 170 on the Chiefs. I'll come in here, but I'm with you, Covey. Flock by 10. Yep, I'm with you. That's
Flock by 10.
Did you see the stat today? By the way,
something else. I wasn't sure.
There was a stat that came out today that every team that has beaten Josh Allen in the playoffs has lost their next game.
Odd type of trend, but true. I did see that.
But I was confused about that though, because KC beat Josh Allen and then they won the Super Bowl, right? Or was that 2 years ago when they lost the game?
Who'd they beat last year?
When was the 13-second game? 2 years ago or last year?
They won.
The Chiefs won that game.
Chiefs won.
Right.
And then won.
Right. So every team that has beaten Josh Allen has lost their next game. Chiefs won their next game.
Last year they did not, obviously, because the Chiefs beat Josh Allen.
Right. So that stat is a strange. I was like, is that stat really there? I was like, that's kind of an odd deal. Yes, the threes were gone very fast. Yes, that's very
Since
true.
He beat Buffalo last year.
Oh, so that was 2021. Thank you, KC. Yeah. Okay, so that was
Thank
not last.
you very much.
Then the Ravens
lost to the Buccaneers.
Thanks. The 13 seconds game was 2
that
years
the
ago.
AFC Championship? No, it was a divisional round, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but Bills lost.
No, it was an AFC title game because the Chiefs lost to the Eagles. They lost that. That was. Or two. No, the Chiefs lost that was the Bengals. The Bengals beat the Chiefs. Remember the Chiefs lost.
Oh yeah.
Chiefs beat them, and then the Chiefs lost to the Bengals. The Bengals went in, and the Bengals lost the Super Bowl.
It's hard when they get all
the Rams
messed up, and you're worried about this and that and all this other stuff. Yeah.
That's why. So it was 2 years ago. So then that trend does hold. So if you're a Chief backer, sorry, you lost. So
post that poll. We got 61% said the Nuggets -2 is the side tonight. I just looked down at that poll.
That's pretty good.
Knicks are winning.
There we go. You like the Knicks?
I do.
Okay. On that. Favorite thing about today's what?
Before we get to that, I got to do this thing. So we talked about it before, and I had to look it up to get the actual definition. And this was a big hit last time. One of the times they did it with the meat curtains and all that other stuff. Moose knuckle. Wasn't quite sure exactly how to explain it.
It's pretty easy.
Well, listen to this. This if you had any question about what it was before, you will not after you hear this. All right. A moose knuckle, sometimes called moose knuckles, is the male equivalent to the female camel toe. Just as a camel toe describes when the shape of a woman's labia are revealed through her clothing, so a moose knuckle reveals a creased, visible outline of a man's genitalia. A moose knuckle, named for its resemblance to the cloven hoof of a moose, is created when a pair of pants, shorts, or underwear is too tight in the front. With men, this can often happen when they wear tight swimsuits, yoga pants, or spandex costumes, or when they hike their pants up too high around the waist. The shape made by the testicles when separated by the seam is also sometimes called a man toe. I've been saving it. I couldn't resist. I was like, how do I explain moose knuckle?
Why are we talking about it is a better question.
I don't know when it came up.
At what part of your life are you having this conversation? I get why you might talk about a camel toe. I'm not why a moose knuckle is coming out in your ocean of estrogen. Why are you bringing this up?
I don't remember why it came up on the show in the chat like a week ago or something. Somebody said moose knuckle. And I was like, moose knuckle. Maybe, we could talk about it. So I went and looked it up.
Let's talk about a moose. Well,
Listen, you can learn all this stuff.
I don't know, DeJuice. I don't know what I'm hearing either. I'm with you on this. Yes, I'm with you. I need the more you know animation for tomorrow's. Yes, I would agree, Sonic. The more you know, NBC.
Listen, it's bonus time. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
That's true. Bonus time. Literally. What are we
Right?
doing?
Moose
What are we
knuckle
doing?
time.
What are we
Moose
doing?
knuckle.
Can we do favorite thing about today, please? Yes, this
Please.
this is my favorite thing about today.
Favorite thing
Urban
about
Dictionary with Dave Sharapan.
Listen,
I know what Kevin today I learned what a moose knuckle is.
see what I'm saying? There's guys that don't know. Urkel sometimes pulled his pants up too high. He had moose knuckle. There's a lot of things that can happen down there. Just make sure.
Did you
it's
know
right.
what the Scandinavians have a word for when you get up in the morning on Sunday and won't get out of bed?
What?
Scandinavians have a word for when you get up in the morning. You know, on Sunday when you get up, sometimes you're like, fuck it, I'm not getting out of bed. I just want to hang out in my bed for a couple of hours and just like look at my phone or read or whatever.
What's wrong with that? There's a name for that?
They call it Herkeldurkel.
What?
They call it a Herkeldurkel.
A Herkeldurkel?
Yeah, hanging out in your bed on Sunday morning, not getting up but being awake is called a Herkeldurkel. I was like, I was in love with that.
That's my pen. I got to.
That's my favorite thing about today. I was like, it's called a Herkeldurkel.
A Herkeldurkel.
I was like, that's amazing. I was like, they have a name for this. Yes. Unlike the Japanese kid that won't come out of his room for 7 years, which is really sad.
That freaked me the fuck out.
It's real.
I don't like that at all.
They have a name for it. It's like a real 500,000 people in Japan are doing this. My kid didn't come out of his room for 7 years. I'm getting him committed to a mental institution.
No.
Like,
I'm going in and getting them and pulling them out. What do
Okay,
you
that
mean
too.
I'm coming out. You're coming out. Let's go. Let's go play catch. Let's go for
right.
a walk.
Go for a walk.
Do
Right.
something
Physical.
out of this room.
Yes.
Oh no, I got everything in here. No, you don't. They
But
got their own. They got their own bathroom in there too.
I mean, I guess I don't know, but that's a life that these kids, they never leave their homes. They don't have to. Shopping, telemedicine, dentistry, it's all done online.
You get the teeth cleaned online.
Hey, you don't get your teeth clean, but you can have a dentist look at my teeth. You can take pictures. You can do a lot of shit without having to ever see anybody. It's crazy. This was pre-COVID, by the way. It's gotten worse post-COVID.
That's yeah, we got it. It's all changing. That's it. We're all going to come back. That's no good. 7-year Herkeldurkel. Listen, that's my favorite thing about today. I learned what a Herkeldurkel was. We talk about moose knuckle on the show.
There we go.
Oh, so this morning I go. Yesterday, doctor. Today, got fitted for the snore guard mouth.
Nice. Okay.
So that was my favorite thing about this morning, is that I show up. And
Did it change the price on you?
they did not.
Oh, that's good.
But they mold it, like it comes from the lab and then they mold it.
Yep.
So he says, open wide, put it in, lock in the top and then the bottom and this and that. And then he molded it and made it hot. But when the dentist came in, I saw him before he got all masked up. He puts this big ass clear mask on. With this big, like light on his head.
Mhm.
Looks like he's going mining, not to come look
Right.
at people's teeth. But before he did that, he saw me. He's like, David, how are you? We're going to get that. We got that snore guard for you today. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. So he goes back and then I go to the chair and he comes out and he goes, Dave, computers are down.
Oh, no.
Might as well go home. I'm like, come on, doc. I said, you remember the days you could do this without the computers? He goes, Dave, everything's on a computer. I don't know if I could do it anymore. And it made me laugh and think about us and the show and life and all this other stuff. Like, if the computer went down, could you operate? I could. I'd be okay.
What do you mean operate?
He was like paralyzed. He was
Oh.
he's like, I can't. I don't know what to do. Like, I gotta wait for the computer to come back up. I'm like, come on. Like, really? Are we that dependent on these machines?
We are. But I mean, I'm not really. If I didn't have my computer for a couple of days, I would be okay. I wouldn't like,
It was great. I didn't take the laptop to Philly.
Yeah, my phone would be, you took my phone away, it would be an adjustment. But my laptop, I'm good. My computer, I'm good. I can do the show, but I'm good otherwise. I just think that we're going to have to come to an arrangement with ourselves at some point down the line, all of us who have lived through this transition, because you and I went to elementary school, we didn't have cell phones. Went to high school, didn't have cell phones.
Correct.
I went to college, I had a cell phone, but that was the first time I had a cell phone was in college. That like my daughter's 9 and I'm getting completely every week. Can I get a phone? Can I get a phone? Can I get a phone? And I'm like, you're not getting a phone. Can you stop asking me? You're not getting a phone. And the explanation she gets is, well, my friends are getting phones. I'm like, I don't care what your friends are getting. I'm not getting, you have a large iPad that does everything you need to get. Yeah, but it's so bulky. I can't take it to school. Right. That's the point. You can't take it to school. We have to, make a determination as to like what we're going to do, because we are in a time that we've never had before as human beings. And we're raising this generation that they are used to having everything at their fingertips. Instant gratification. I want it. I get it now.
I guess. I don't know.
We want that.
It's going to be a challenge. The other favorite thing about today is that we found a home for your package.
You really, really need to explain that sentence, because that sentence does not sound the way you're supposed to make it sound. That sounds a whole different fucking level.
I couldn't wait to deliver that line.
Okay.
Not that package, not that home.
Oh,
whatever you guys are thinking, we're not talking about that. A mysterious package with a misnumbered address, right number, wrong street, showed up at Perrault's
right
house.
Area code, right street number, wrong
right
street.
Zip code.
Right
area code is for tomorrow for Roll Call Friday.
Sorry, zip code. Sorry.
Zip code.
Right first name, wrong last name. And when I put it in, it said it was in California.
Because he didn't put it.
I didn't put the lane in. I just put the name of the street.
Put the street name in without the lane.
Yeah,
so
it popped up and said 1192. The name of the street is in California. And I went,
yes.
Oh, well, all right, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Whole mess. And then Dave puts in lane. He goes, it's around the corner. It's like, what do you mean it's around the corner? It's like, it's around the corner. Literally, the guy's around the corner. Like he's your house, but one street over.
I'm leaving the house this morning. I dropped off the mini helmet that Chef Benny had made.
Yep.
This is the BvB version. We're going to talk. Would you guys buy this? Like, you get your name on the back.
No debate they'd buy it. Absolutely.
And would you guys want one of these? Let us know, because I think this was the next iteration. I mean, we got the hats. That's one thing. But I think we're going to get personalized helmets if we can get this guy on the horn and get this taken care of. But I'm walking out of Perrault's house, which occasionally I'll go over there. He hasn't been over here in 2 weeks because the proxy service is done. But, you'd buy 10. J-Dow Bets would buy 10. We're going to work on this. That's good to know. So I'm walking out. He says, you believe this? They brought this package. It's my first name, saved name, different last name, Perrault. No, I know. Is it the right zip code? Yes. Wrong street. Why is the package here? Go give it to the streets in California. Hold on. I Google it. Comes up. It says it's a 2-minute walk.
Around the corner.
And I'm like, it's right over there. He goes, what? I said, it's right over there. And I walked past my car parked in front of his house and walked around. I said, this is the street. Can you see me? He's standing in the garage.
Once I'm done here, I'm going to walk it across and go ring in the guy's doorbell and be like, here's your package. I'm really sorry. Came to my house. I was like, I've had it for 2 days.
For the package.
I've had it for 2 days. That package has been there for 2 days. It's not my package. It's your package. So enjoy it. On that note, we're out.
Talking about packages.
You're the one talking about moose knuckles. So it makes sense. It's on the brain, I guess. Enjoy it. Get your prostate checked, I guess is the name of the world for the show on this. We're back tomorrow. Roll Call Friday.
Big show tomorrow.
Whose packages we're talking about, but we'll see. Tomorrow, RCF for BvB.